Welcome back, Jeeple. Today we're going to continue our Tech Tip Thursdays. Last week we talked about Ziploc bags and tape and how they help you on a project. Today we're going to talk a little bit about torque wrenches, how to use them, how to adjust them, what not to do with them, just proper ways of storing them. Like I have plastic cases. If they have a case, make sure you keep them in the case. Keep them away from where they're going to get rusty at, because they're that's big with these things. So we got, right now I have two different kinds. I have this long one. There's a foot-pound torque wrench. It goes up to 250 foot-pounds. This one is an inch-pound torque wrench, and this goes up to 250 inch-pounds. Actually 260. So big, and they both have newtons on it too. You measure in metric too, but we're dealing mostly with foot-pounds or inch-pounds. I'm going to be showing you on Rhino here as I torque down a couple of the bolts on the oil pan, or the oil pump rather, how to use them. One big thing about these is they're torque wrenches. They're just for setting torque. This is a big beast, this thing right here. You might be tempted to reach in your toolbox and you need that extra leverage to break a bolt loose. Don't do it with this. You'll knock it out of calibration in a heartbeat. They're just meant, you run them up there with the regular ratchet. Once you get them close, once you get them hand tight, then you go up there and finish them off with your torque wrenches. To set your torque wrench, we got, I'm going to bring this in here. If I can show it to you with this light. On the handle, or on the side of it, you have your settings. As soon as we get it to focus, this is foot-pounds. You see your numbers there. What you do is you'll twist up the handle till this, you just unlock it. This has a lock here, and this twist this handle in, the whole handle, until it reaches where you want to on there, and then continue to twist. Let's say you wanted to go to 192, so you would twist that handle up on this line in the center till you reach that 190 line, and then down here are the numbers. You'd go up to the number 2. So that number 2 would be centered on this line at 190, and that would be 192 foot-pounds. Same with this one, except this is inch-pounds, and we're actually going to, I already have this set to 106 inch-pounds. So as you can see, I am, once it comes into focus, let me bring it down here, I'm at the 100 pounds right there, and then you bring it over there. The numbers are wore off a little bit, but you can see the 6. See how the dash on the 6 is lined up right with that line in the center? That is 106 inch-pounds. This goes in 15 inch-pound increments, this wrench. Alright. So we're going to, one of the other things I want to go over with this is thread locker, things like that. That's going to throw your accuracy off. Extensions. The longer extension it is, the more it's going to knock your accuracy off. It's not going to be exactly where you want it. It's going to be a little bit lower. Always try and go straight onto your torque wrench if possible. You can use medium depth, you can use deep sockets. Shallow sockets are the best. They're going to give you the most accurate reading. Bear with me while I slide up underneath of this Jeep. We'll go underneath and we'll I'll show you. We'll tighten up a bolt, and the noise, you'll hear the click when it reaches how its torque setting. Stand by 1 second. All right, here we are. We are back under the Jeep. We're going to go ahead and tighten up this bolt right here. We'll get that right to the torque setting. So what we're going to do is get it up on there, get ourselves in a position where we can get a good grip on a torque wrench. Give a couple spins. You hear that click? Only do it once. That click means you were right on your setting, right where you need to be at. We may do it a couple times. Or again, I've got one more bolt I want to get a hold of here. We'll tighten this up real quick. And I might have to get a deep socket to do this. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it to tighten all the way. This one I didn't. There we go. Keep going till you hear it. You know, once you get pressure on it, you can use the torque wrench. And just keep going, and you'll feel the handle move a little bit. And you'll hear a very distinct click right there. Do you hear that click? Again, you only want it to click once. You don't want to click it again, because then you're actually adding a little bit more torque to the bolt, a little bit more tightness to the bolt. I'm going to slide back out from underneath the Jeep real quick. One more thing to go over. And sorry about the reviews, you didn't really need to see that. Now there are different ways of going about it. Some settings have you a dual torque setting, where you're going to torque it down, torque all the bolts to a certain, like you say you're going to go down to 102 inch-pounds, and then go back through the pattern and retorque them to 120 inch-pounds, and that'll be your final torque setting. Some of them, this oil pump doesn't have a torque pattern, it's just 4 bolts, and there's no real things about the way to have to do it. But say you're doing an intake manifold, or even something with a large flat surface, you want to torque them. There's a torque sequence, and you check your repair manuals and whatnot. If you can get a hold of TSBs, they'll show you your torque patterns. You don't want to torque the center. Some of them have center out, some of them have one end all the way across. What you don't want to do is get that. You can distort the metal, distort the piece, especially if it's a thinner piece of aluminum or a thinner piece of metal that you're torquing down. You'll distort it, you'll have a leak, you won't have a good seal. But fortunately for this, it's just 4 bolts, 5 bolts, and there's no torque sequence to it. It's just torque them all down to 106 pounds and move on to your next step. That is our Tech Tip Thursday for this week. I hope it helps you out, and I'll talk to you next time. Jeep on.